Hola, everyone. What's going on? It's Wednesday night, Keeping It Shrimple, episode 66. And this time, we're actually going to talk about something important and we're going to get some good information instead of just a bunch of jumble out of my mouth. We have a special guest, Therese Neal, the Shrimp Princess, organizer and host of the North American International Shrimp Contest. So I hope everybody joins us soon. We got like 7 people, it says. I know we got Lady Rorschach, Frank Basanta, Jamie A., Aaron's Water Buddies, Cherie. Hello, Cherie. Aaron's Water Buddies. Did I already say that? I don't know. Ka in Texas. Rob Bloomfield. Hello, Nicole. Okay, before I get caught up in that, I'm going to bring her on. Say hello.
Hello. Hello. How is everyone?
There you go. We like to have fun. We're kind of crazy, and usually I'm by myself, so I get away with whatever I want to do. I'm going to have to behave myself.
I should have asked you this already, but is this a children-friendly stream?
I wouldn't say children friendly, but I try to keep it PG as much as possible.
I will try to control the slippage.
It slipped sometimes. Trust me, it happens. And I have to go like beep. Right.
Exactly. Well, I hope everyone else is doing well tonight. It's been a long day for me, but I'm here in breezy but kind of warm Orlando, Florida for a global show. So after hours, now I can get my drink on. Huh? Yeah, that's silly work stuff.
There you are. Okay, you almost froze for a second. Skitty Nana, hello. Let's see. I want to do something real quick. I know you haven't been familiar with the process.
This whole thing is new to me. I've never even heard.
I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp? I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp?
Oops.
That's funny.
That happened.
I had not seen
it originally started with this.
I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp? I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp?
I do like the shrimp pictures better than your.
To me, I was trying to make a play off the old electric
Sesame
company
Street. Oh, the electric company, yes.
Yes.
Do you watch Family Guy? Because you know they did that too.
Did they?
On Family Guy, yeah. Peter.
Oh Peter, yeah, that's right. There was an episode.
Yeah. I love Family Guy. That tells you about my sense of humor right there.
But what happened really was I caught the audio off of a TV show, and when I heard it, I hit rewind and I got the audio and I sampled it and I started using it off of my phone, but then I made a little short clip. So I throw that in my video every once in a while, and that's what started the whole I love shrimp thing.
Okay. How am I able to comment? Hi, I see everyone saying hi, but I don't know how to comment.
Oh, unfortunately, you have to open it up in YouTube.
Oh.
And you can comment on it in YouTube, but make sure you're on mute or it'll echo.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Let me see here. Eric says he's going to try to get on.
We like Family Guy too.
Nailed it.
So spot on crazy. It's almost like, all right, I have a 13-year-old preteen girl and my 15-year-old son. So like my 15-year-old son, he doesn't get everything. My 13-year-old, she gets way more than she needs to get. And so when we're watching Family Guy and like they come in the room or whatever, I'm like inside, I'm like, listen to the TV, don't. But when we're not paying attention, they also watch South Park, and I cannot stand that show, but I know enough of it to know that's way inappropriate for them.
Everything South Park is way inappropriate for everybody.
That's true. That is true.
They get away with it. They really do.
That could
So
be.
we've given, look, we got grown to 19 people so far. I want to give them a little bit before we start getting into the nitty gritty
Sure.
stuff.
Do it. It's
Um,
your show.
so I know it's probably a silly question. Maybe you've heard it 1,000 times, but where did you get the nickname the Shrimp Princess?
Actually, okay, so it hasn't always been my nickname. It just became my nickname kind of last year. Not that people haven't referred to me as that before, but with working with Chris Lukop doing the international contest starting back in 2016, of course, he's branded as the Shrimp King. And
Right.
as each year went by and I became a little bit more familiar with people within the hobby and met a lot of individuals, Shrimp Queen would get tossed out there, and I'm like, oh no. Chris is married. He has a wife. I don't want to piss her off. I'm Shrimp Queen. So I didn't dub myself as any nickname whatsoever. And then last year it started with random friends of mine. And then at an Aquashella, it was at Aquashella, Chicago, I believe. They put it on my badge. I was like, oh, it's official. It's here. It's got my name.
Right.
It says Shrimp Princess. So everyone, I'm like, I don't feel comfortable saying that. I don't feel comfortable giving myself a nickname. But enough people are like, you know what, just shut up. This is what we're doing. So that's kind of the story behind it.
There you go. Well,
I
that's
lost
kind
the
of
battle. I lost the battle, and there it is.
Yeah, and I was thinking of grandpa names at the time, and my youngest son was pushing me to do a YouTube channel on my aquariums, and I was like, oh, whatever, YouTube, schmutube, you know. And I was like, my first grandson was first words out of his mouth were fish, and he'd always point at the aquariums, and I'd carry him to the aquariums, and he'd just sit there and stare at the fish.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So I was like, he's not going to ever call me Papa J. He's going to call me Papa Fish. And then the light bulb went on, and I was like, hey, that's a good channel name. And then I went and looked up Papa Fish, but there was like 20 million Papa Fish, but there was no Papa Shrimp.
There you go.
So I was like, shrimp breeding, Papa Shrimp. Yeah, okay. And I started my channel, and when I met you in Chicago, I had 4 subscribers, me and my 2 sons and my other account.
Hilarious. You're like, it was all us. It was just family. You're going to get interviewed just as much as I am, so this ought to be fun. Did you come up with that name? Were you already into shrimp keeping and breeding and such? Okay.
Yeah, I started in about 2018 with my first blue Neocaridina freshwater shrimp.
Where'd you get them?
At the fish store. I think it was Glass Aquatics. Was the local fish store at the time. Okay. And I went there, and they had 1 shrimp. It cost me $15 plus tax.
For a Neo?
For a Neo.
Thank God we have come a long way.
I know, right?
Thank goodness. Oh my gosh, that's insane.
But I had already had aquariums with plants and a few fish that I went ahead and got at Petco or whatever, but I didn't have nothing I liked. I was more into the plants and aquascaping. But once I got that 1 shrimp, it just exploded. And next thing you know, I had 26 aquariums in my bedroom, all Neocaridinas. And then
26 in your bedroom?
Yes, in my master bedroom.
Wow. Was it a big bedroom? Because
they were in the closet.
Oh my gosh.
On every nightstand, my dressers. I had a couple of little small shelves that I bought.
Wow. I am going to pull up YouTube, and I'm going to try to pull this up because I want to type and comment and conversate over there too.
Yes.
So bear with me a second if I do something wrong.
I love corporate shrimp. Look, there's Eric.
Whoop, whoop. There he is.
Thanks for subscribing, Eric. By the way, if you're trying to chat and you can't, that's why. because you have to be a subscriber. And I've been doing that lately because I'm trying to build my channel.
Got you.
I got to get over 1,000. Come on.
Hey, I subscribed the other day when you sent me the link.
I saw that. Thank you.
I did my part. Why does it not have me? I gotta change my accounts. I only have like 5 Gmail accounts.
Yeah, the bed was for the shrimp. No, it wasn't that bad, but it was kind of almost. I had aquariums on every wall surrounding me, and that it was a big master bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
So I had tanks everywhere, and then I had some outside in my living room. I think I had 5 in the living room, and then in the garage I had another 23.
Whew. I like having them all condensed.
Yes, me too. I learned, but that's the house that caught fire, and I went through all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I learned real quickly my mistakes, but at the same time, I was so glad that I had aquariums downstairs that didn't get affected. And Jason from Jadron Aquatics brought his generator over, and we spent about 8 hours catching fish and shrimp and pulling plants and everything out. And he took up to his house where he had 100 aquariums. He had about 20 empty.
Nice that you had, that accessibility around you when such a tragedy took place.
Yeah, I was in shock, and I'm texting him going, dude, my house just burnt down. How many aquariums do you have available? I need to try to save my livestock. I was like, I have thousands of dollars of shrimp.
Yeah, that's insane.
It was woo. But yeah, so I've had big ones, and I've learned in all of these teardowns and rebuilds and teardowns and rebuilds, I'm learning more and more about what I want to do. So that's part of my reason for I want to be there in the Aquatic Expo, just so I could try to learn as much from all of the experts that are going to be there.
Oh, yeah, but you're going to push the envelope because you're not going to listen to anyone anyway. You're going to be like, what? I can't do what?
You can't know me that well already.
I mean, you already told me that, but at any rate.
Yeah, but I'd like to know, and a simple question, what would you do if you had to start all over? What would you do differently than what you do now? Or would you keep it exactly the same?
Are you asking me that question right now?
Yeah, I'd like to ask you that too.
So my dabbling in the breeding part of the shrimp hobby kind of didn't build itself up until I think 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was 2019. What did we say? In 2019, I moved my, I was given a room like in the house. It was a recently emptied room, and it was all mine. So I was able to move all of the tanks that I had, which I do a lot of planted tanks too, because I love plants. And I moved everything into this newer room. And at that time, when I was doing all of this, I didn't have dedicated. I mean, I had like a couple of shrimp tanks, but they were all different sizes and different water volumes. And I just had a rack, and I was, kind of like a lot of people end up with in the beginning. And working for CO2 Art, and my boss invested in me. And so I was able to order 10 custom dimension tanks, rimless, and a more sturdier shrimp rack. And so I was given an opportunity to kind of start from scratch. And I had put a lot of thought into like how much water volume. My tanks are too big. My shrimp are not dancing as much as they should be. I'm also not home a whole lot because of my working travel schedule.
Right.
But like I could fit probably 300 to 400 in one of the tanks that I have. So I have 8 of these on the rack, and then I have 2 extra just to have. So I was kind of given that opportunity to do so. I changed the filtration. I went to a jet lifter in a square sponge filter, and running it off of an Alita. These were all things that I wanted to do in the past that I'd learned from other people's experiences and seeing other rooms, and even in other countries. There's a lot of similarities in what we do as as hobbyists between our country and many other countries. And air-driven sponges are probably one of the things that a lot of people do, no matter where they live. And so I was able to incorporate that. So I had that opportunity. Had I not had that opportunity, how would I have answered your question? There would have been a lot of things that I would have changed. Like, you know, it is what it is.
Mine are simple, kind of filtration, you know, and of course sponges. I think are as much money as we spend on everything else for our shrimp tanks. You know, why not only $3 or $5 for a sponge? It's easy, it's quick. You hook it up, and there you go. You know. And,
well, the benefits of it are really outlast or they outweigh any of the other filtration. Don't get me wrong, I love a good hang on the back filter. And I tend to use them when I have an excess of plants in a tank, or betta fish, or I actually have a fish tank that has fish in it. I haven't had that in a long time. It's been everything else but no fish. And so, you know, for aeration purposes, I like to have that. And it was my first dive into the shrimp, my first dive into using those sponge filters. I didn't even know how it worked. Like, I've seen it all the time, but I didn't understand how it would push up and go down. And so even now, I've had that rack set up for 3 years now, I believe. And I still tinker with how much of the jet lifter tube I have exposed above the water to create, you know, that surface agitation. And then sometimes I don't want any of that, because then it bubbles up at the front of the tank all the way over here. My floor's wet, and, you know, I still make those changes, but it is the cheapest route, but I think it's the most beneficial, because you can leave it for 3 or 4 months and it's still going to run. Right?
It's the shrimp princess.
Hi, Francois. That's my my partner in crime.
Nice to meet you, Francois. Welcome to Keeping It Shrimple. So let's get into the good stuff then. So there's this shrimp contest thing that's going on, and I've been a part, luckily, of the American shrimp contest at Aquashella when they have it here in Dallas. Maybe because it's cheaper for me to go there. They don't want to pay for anybody else, you know, who knows. But I've been judged for the past 2 Dallas Aquashellas. But you have the North American International Shrimp Contest going on in June. Let's learn some more about that.
So a little bit of history, if there's anybody that's actually watching this that doesn't know me or has never heard of me or seen me before. So in 2016, I worked with Chris Lukop and with JBJ and Denolay as our primary sponsors for the aquatic experience. We brought in for the first time in the US, the International Shrimp Contest. And it was, in my opinion, I don't know what other people think about it, I thought it was an extreme success. Not for, I don't know who made money off of it, because honestly, I wasn't, that wasn't my part of the deal. Like, I was working for free and just setting everything up. But impact that it had on the community and the hobby was outstanding. And with each passing year, that just became like the one thing that we would look forward to, you know, being this small niche of our aquarium friends. But so when I left working for JBJ, Joe took over that contest, and he did that for 1 year. And that same year, I did the American Shrimp Contest for Aquashella. And so this is the next generation is what I'm referring to it as, the next generation International Shrimp Contest. Yes, Nano Aquarium Guy, I do have a YouTube channel, and I am on social media. You can just search for me by name and you'll find me.
Just type in the Shrimp Princess.
Yeah, no, not that name, but my actual name. um, so I was really pleased with what I created. I've never done anything like this before. I never organized anything. I don't even organize my closet.
Right.
But the results of what we were able to put together, and I say we because it wasn't just me, we had a team of volunteers. And because of what we were able to do and the decisions that Chris and I were given freedom to make, to as far as how it was set up, what we were doing here and there, it was phenomenal and it looked great and I loved it. I'm still so proud of it. And I'm also equally proud of what I created for the Aquashella show. And that one is just the regional. So it's just North America. So it's just for, our American breeders. And that one, it was kind of the same concept, just keeping it simple for them. Because their show is in Shrimple in different places at different venues. It's hard to have anything, I think, that's too fancy or you don't want to have too much because you have only a small amount of time to put things together. And, the tanks are stored, but they're not stored with me or with anyone else on the organizing committee. They're actually stored with Aquashella stuff. So, just keeping it simple, and that was good enough. But now I feel like these were both my creations in the beginning. And so I can't bring the same level. I have to bring it higher. So it's been a challenge a little bit, but this time we are actually open for sponsors. So we created the organization that handles the organizing of the shrimp contest. And we looked for sponsors to help us bring this in. So far, I am the biggest sponsor of the show, of the contest. But I will take a few minutes in a few minutes, or when we get to it before the end of the live stream, and I'll talk about who our sponsors are. And I'm bringing it next level. So
right.
It's I don't want to reveal too much. I do want to say that we're going to have a dedicated area for the shrimp hobbyists. So we'll have our expert judges that are going to be available, those that aren't going to be selling shrimp during the show.
You're going to have a shrimper's cave?
You can, pretty much. That's exactly what that's my goal, is just this one dedicated area right next to the shrimp contest. So we can have those shrimp conversations and, taking it to another level. There are a few other things that I'm making changes of before, or not before, but as a part of the appearance of what we're used to seeing. So, yeah.
Don't mind the comments.
I know, I see them. Not sure about that. Hi, Ryan.
I did put this on there for everybody. So if you get a bunch of friend requests on Facebook, sorry.
That's fine. I will look at everyone's page because I do that. I'm probably one of the few people who has nearly 4,000 friends, and I vet every friend request.
Well, I knew you back when. No.
That's right. We go way back.
You're like, who's this Papa Shrimp guy?
Jerry. I know so many Jerrys.
Right? There's lots of Jerrys, but only one Papa Shrimp.
That's right. You are the only one.
Let's see. Wait, what does Sherry say?
I don't know. Something about spilling the beans.
Oh,
yeah. I don't want to spill too many beans. But I will just say that if it all comes together the way that it is in my mind, and the way that Francois made a little diagram, and he worked really hard on putting it together on what we're going to be looking like. It's just going to be beautiful. Just beautiful.
So do you want me to bring up the website?
Yeah, we can do that now. Woohoo! This is our judge panel. Ooh. You're seeing what I'm seeing. You're seeing what I'm doing, right?
Yep.
Okay. So anybody who is tuned in right now, Rob Bloomfield, obviously, is in the comments watching us right now. Hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
Eric Lucas as well. Two phenomenally, man, these are the two of the best people to know within the shrimp industry, I think. Benny is from Singapore. I've not met him face to face, but additionally, Eric and Rob are focused oftentimes on just helping the community, helping shrimpers, helping give advice. And Benny is working on that in Singapore, trying to break the tradition in Asia of not sharing best practices. Because in his story, he got burned with over $3,000 of an investment into shrimp. And when he went and asked for help, no one would help him. So he wants to break that and make sure that there is information out there for people to find so that they can be successful, because not everybody wants to be the top, breeder in Taiwan.
Right.
Some of us just want.
A lot of us just want to have them and keep them.
Right. So Nico, of course, is our lead judge. Nico, in addition to being another source of good information, and good information meaning not selling you on having to buy this product specifically or that product specifically. It's talking about what those products are doing for them to give them the results that they get. And that's what it is about, sharing the information within the community. It's best practices. Like I happen to follow, not in completion, but I happen to follow the same way that Nico sets up his tanks there in France. They do something to the water in there, let me tell you, because those shrimp are always dancing and always popping out babies. But I follow his setups in a way. Mine are not as full as his, but I've listened and I've taken advice from him over the time. Carbon is also another one that loves to share. He's like the big smile of Taiwan. I love him so much. He's like the Taiwanese cheerleader. He's just so bubbly, and I just love being around him. He was we became pen pals from the very first contest, and we've been friends ever since. And then there's me and my partner, Francois, who, by the way, if it weren't for Francois, I would not be sitting here talking about this contest, because I wouldn't be doing this contest. There were a lot of people that pushed me. Yeah, there were a lot of people that pushed me in that direction. There was a lot of conversations last year. I didn't think I was ready to be a part of that community again. That's a long story. Not going to get into it. But I decided it was time. And part of the reason why I felt like it was time is we had the American Shrimp Contest going on. Not a lot of people knew about it. And so once I took the job working for Sarah, I was back into the shows again, which I had not been for a few years. And a lot of people were telling me, hey, I didn't even know there was going to be a shrimp contest here, or, they were filling tanks, but not a lot of different people. It was a lot of the same people, which in a hobby this small, it tends to happen. But this platform, bringing the international, it brings a bigger light. It makes it more widespread social media wise, and it brings the people together. That's what I love about doing what I'm doing.
Well, and that's kind of like what I was telling, I don't know, I think it was last week that I was talking to everybody about, I don't have what I want to have. I wish I had I have one colony that maybe I might have some that would, they'd look nice in the aquariums up there, but I don't really want to jump into the competition. I want to be there to be around a bunch of shrimpers from all over the world.
Right.
And just share the love for the shrimp. And if anything that I want to accomplish besides absorb as much knowledge as I can is I want to be able to have one of them or 12 of them go back to their country and say, man, that contest was cool, but there was this crazy American guy saying, I love shrimp.
Hey, I don't know. They already say that about me. It was like, man, that girl, she is nuts.
If I can get them to spread I love shrimp on that side of the pond, woohoo!
Well, we can work on that. We can definitely work on that. When I decided that this is what we were going to do, and once things started rolling and going in motion, pretty much between December and January, that's when I was like, I'm hitting up all my friends. I have been to so many breeders' homes. I've been very blessed in the having the opportunities to travel to other countries in the past, and so I went to Taiwan and I visited 5 different breeders there. I went to Germany, and there's breeders there that I've seen their setups that no one here has ever heard of, because they're not social media fanatics, and so they share a little bit here and there, but not a lot. And I'm very proud to have had that opportunity and experience. So it's jelly.
So let's see
Is
here.
it Alishan? Alishan?
Alishan.
Okay. Yes, at the Hidden Reef. I was just talking with Ziggy today, as a matter of fact. Yes, the social aspect is one of the best parts of it. I agree with you 100%, Eric.
At Aquashella, I was so busy because I was at a vendor's table, so we were just slammed that whole Aquashella. I didn't really get to get my fair shake of socializing with everybody. And at the end of Aquashella, I sat down with Eric, and I was like, man, like these days just flew by, and here we are. Everybody's
getting over already.
And this is my only chance to sit down and just chat with you. You know.
Eric's a great person to sit and chat with.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I guess my love for Eric shows through, because he's been judging for the contest that I've been organizing for since the inception, since the very first contest in 2016. Wasn't it, Eric? I think it was 2016. I'm pretty sure you've been there from the beginning. But anyway, I try to bring in people that I think are going to be that the community, or that the hobby community, will benefit from having opportunities to spend time with. So when I'm looking for who wants to judge, I don't want to just pick up, this random person who maybe they won first place, or, maybe they won third place 3 times in a row, but, they know their shrimp. I want to bring people on that are easy to talk to, that are not talking on such a level that it's so difficult for, the average person to understand, because I can't. And if I can't keep up with this, then, I don't want to feel stupid all the time. So I don't want to bring in that kind of personality. But
that's why I do the Keeping It Shrimple, because it's like, man, we can put all the information on paper. We don't have to be so pompous about what we know that other people don't. And It's just a hobby, and it's a beautiful hobby, and we can make it grow even bigger if we just share a little bit of information and have a good time together.
Yeah.
Loving shrimp.
Absolutely. And we will, and we're back. I don't know. I can't foresee the future. So I can't say that, this is going to be a successful contest. I won't know that until registration closes, and until we're actually there that day, putting the tanks together and putting the water and the shrimp and everything. There's a lot of logistics that go on the backside of things.
Oh, yeah.
As a matter of fact, we haven't figured out yet how we're going to bring in the Taiwanese breeders. But we're going to make it happen. I mean, Francois has the ability to bring in imports legally. And so that is an opportunity. But then I found out just like a week and a half ago that shipping out of Taiwan to do it one way costs this much, to do it another way, so there's things that we're still trying to figure all out, but hopefully this one will be successful. Hopefully the show itself, the Aquatic Expo, will be successful as well. And they would like to continue hosting this contest, but this time it's been built in a way that it's portable. So if for whatever reason the Aquatic Expo has a breakup, or if they decide one year they don't want to do the shrimp contest, then you can hire me at any other show. So I could be technically in the West Coast, Midwest, down in the South. I could go anywhere. Everything is owned by the organization going forward from this contest. And so I'm actually really happy about that part. So there's no limit. I'm not just for Aquatic Experience or just for Aquashella. This is for the hobby. It's more for the hobby than anything else. So
that's why I wanted to get you on, and I was surprised that you were like, "Oh yeah, I'll be there. See you Wednesday." And I'm like, "Whoa, that was easy. I should have texted you a long time ago."
Are you trying to say I'm easy? Gosh, you're acting like you know me. I'm kidding. I'm not easy.
Touche. But no, I was excited because I'm excited about this contest, even though I know Aquashella is coming first.
Yes.
And the American Shrimp Contest is going to be happening.
Yes.
And I don't know, it's going to be here in my backyard. I'm not going to have a vendor's table this time, so I'm going to get to enjoy everything a little bit more.
Good for you. Good for you. You should.
Whether I get to be a judge or not, who knows? But I'm going to be there enjoying Aquashella, the event, and socializing with everybody a little bit more this time.
That's you can't put a price on that. Socializing and community oriented experience. You really can't. No. So for those that are watching that have never been to one of these aquarium shows or aquatic events, you really are missing out. There's just so much one-on-one that you can get, and putting a face to the name of somebody you've been, communicating with for a couple of years, but just online through social media. It just takes it to a whole nother level. Like I can't say I'm friends. Like I can't say I've met all 4,000, however many friends are on my Facebook page, but I have met a lot of them. And I just think that, you can't get that anywhere else outside of a show.
I don't know. This past Aquashella in Dallas, you walked by me several times and I wanted to say hello or tap you, but you looked like you were either very busy with business work stuff or you're just stuck up.
Well, I can tell you, I was working, so I was probably, if I had
Get to that story.
my bitch resting face might look a little stuck up. I don't know. I don't know what my bitch resting face looks like. My husband thinks that I'm grumpy all the time, so that might be an indication. But no, I'm sorry. You should have said something to me. I am totally approachable. Just so you know.
I know. Well, you were in Chicago when I first met you. That's why I was like, I don't know. She looks busy.
I tend to look busy all the time. I've made it an art. If you see me and I'm walking and I have I don't have things in my hands or I'm not talking to someone, I'm definitely not too busy to speak to you. So you remember that.
All right. Got it.
So I know we have been talking about the contest and I know we keep getting off track and I knew that was going to happen. Have you had an opportunity to look over the categories yourself?
Yes.
Are there any?
I like it, but for the average person looking at this, they're going, what?
You think?
I think the average person, the breeder that's going to enter the contest, I think it's quite clear. But
Well,
the
I
average
mean,
person, like most of my watchers,
thank you,
know,
Cherie. You are hilarious too. You are my pod. We are two peas in a pod. um, I agree. I agree. I did add in, so this is the first time we've had this many categories in the US. And I did this intentionally because, I mean, obviously I had to make a bigger and better shrimp contest, but I also
right.
needed to make it a little bit more challenging because we've brought this contest back in 2016. And so we kind of opened that door, and a lot of people took it in stride and became, really, really good at it. And so we need to make the contest more challenging too now. So for the average person who maybe has just gotten into it, some of them are self-explanatory. Like we only have the two only tiger categories.
Right.
And then some of them, if you don't know what your shrimp category would fall into, but you really want to participate, just send us an email, because I answer these questions all the time. And when we answer those questions, sometimes we'll tell you a category, maybe you thought it would be category 3, but I said it would be better in category 13. The reason might be because it would score better in the suggested category than it would in the category you think it belongs to. So if you're on the fence and don't know, we have our email address there, and I do answer the questions as they come through. So the beginner and masters category point systems, we do not. So I realized Grant had told me that they incorporated a pointing system with the American Shrimp Contest. And I guess they're able to use the multiple points, put it all together, jumble it around, and spit out who is the best breeder based on scores.
Right.
This contest,
using the concurrent,
right?
contests that we had, especially that year with 3 contests.
Yeah. So we are not doing that. Unfortunately, although Grant, I think, wanted to use any of the scoring from our contest, there were others that said, no, let's not do that. So we don't have that affiliation, though. I mean, I'd be open to doing that. So it's not really broken into a beginner or master. And I'll tell you why. Crown, tail, half moon. Because I don't want anyone to feel like they are less than any other. So I would recommend anyone that is proud of what they've accomplished with their breeding, even neocaradinas, or something simple like PRLs, for example. If you're proud of it, you should enter it, because you never know. You could come out in first place. And what would that do for you? That would just solidify what you already feel about yourself. You feel like you're good enough, but you're not sure.
Right.
And of course, not everybody that's a master is going to score high. It is a matter of opinion from the judges when they're going through. They're scoring it with the same questions. So they're looking at the same things, and they have a scoring, I think it's 1 through 5, where that's the amount of points that they give. And those points are totaled. And since there's 2 judges for every category, the 2 judges' scores are put together and then divided by 2. And this is the outcome of the total score. Excel does all that math for me. I already have it all set up. I didn't have to figure it out. It doesn't exactly make a whole lot of sense. So yeah, we do keep scores. Right. I like to present those scores too. So although we didn't do this with the Aquatic Experience International level, going forward now, I like to put the breeder information on the tanks once they've been judged and once the winners have been identified and all of that.
Right.
So you get to see what your score was. So if you're present at the show, you can look at the sticker and see, and anyone else that's there can look at the sticker and see who the breeder was, what the score was, if they placed, where they placed, and this, that, and the other. Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. And I like the category 13, 14, and 15, like you said. That kind of leaves it open to, just get people
Just enough.
involved. Get
Yeah.
more people involved. And don't be so intimidated by the, oh,
International
I can't beat so-and-so, so there's no point in trying. Why not?
Okay. Who won the first in 2016? Who was the breeder? Does anyone know? I know you know, Eric.
Well, let's see.
Oh, you're going to look it up?
No, I'm trying to see if anybody's going to answer.
Okay, so I won't give away the answer yet, but I'll leave that hanging in the air. And I wanted to also bring up something else. So categories 13, 14, and 15, those are kind of like it's sort of like a catch-all. And I wanted to give advice for anybody who may be watching right now. How many viewers do you have?
Right now, 37.
Okay, so for these 37 people, who won the most awards? That wasn't the question. It's who won overall in 2016. So for those that are looking at the categories, not really sure, when you're looking at something like the focus on color quality, your focus on color quality is going to be you're expected to send in 3 to 5 shrimp. They can be juvies, but I think 3 millimeters is this, like anything below 3 millimeters is too small. They don't really show their best at that small stage anyway, up to a full-size adult. It was not the same person that won the most awards because he only entered one group, but he was, what did we call the winner? It was the Shrimp King. So who was the Shrimp King in 2016? It was not Rob. I'm not sure who CM is. No. Cherie, you should behave. It wasn't Grant either. Grant did win some, but the color category, if you have 3 to 5 shrimp and all of them have the same color quality, that's what you want to send in. So in terms of, let's say, just for example purposes, this wouldn't actually work, but for example purposes, if you had Neocaridina orange really, the pattern can be a little bit different, but in general, it's the same. You have the stripes, you have the orange, and then you have the transparency. If you have 3 to 5 specimens that have the exact pattern and color, and the color is the same shade with the same amount of transparency or opacity, is that opacity, opaque? You know what I mean, right? I don't know if opacity. That's the right word. But
I say.
Those would be the ones that you would select to put into a group like that. So if your color is something new or phenomenal, or you just got, this blue is such a brilliant blue, that might be a category that you would consider putting those in versus whatever else they might fall into.
Right.
And the same with the pattern. So my recommendation for pattern quality quality is if the pattern is the exact same on every shrimp, because that homogeneity is a big factor when it comes to scoring.
Yes.
Homogeneity. Yeah.
I'm
getting stuff. I'm not going to say I don't have any alcohol in here. Homogeneity is a big factor in all of the categories, but these 3 categories are, those 2 specifically, 13 and 14 are specific to, and if you have them and a group of them all look the same, those are the ones that you want to send in for that. In terms of any of the other categories, you want to keep them. If you have a mixture of, it was not Vin, if you have a mixture and it was not carbon, it was Robert Jackson Harkey. It was an American competing against Taiwan in the very first contest. I was so proud it was an American that won. Yep, that's my shout out to you, Jackson. If you have a mixture of male and female, if you have one that is maybe pregnant, because we know the females will brighten up their colors a little bit more when they have eggs. Mm-hmm. Those you're welcome to send in. All I can say is if they have babies, and Eric will tell you this because I kept his babies. If they have babies in the tank, we may not have the time to get all the babies out. So they may go home with somebody that's a volunteer. Yes, it was the crazy blue bolts. Absolutely. Absolutely. So that was so you never know. I never heard of Jackson before then. Like he came from nowhere.
Right.
And won the entire thing, $500 in his pocket. So I use that as a perfect example as to why anyone and everyone should enter if they're proud of what they've done.
Amen.
I know I covered a little bit of the size requirements. So this was something you
3
told me.
centimeters?
Yeah. So, millimeters.
Millimeters.
Is it millimeters? No, centimeters. You're right. So I wouldn't send in anything smaller than 3. And you can send in a full-grown adult, though they don't tend to score as high when you're looking at those. So I would say that age range and size kind of in between juvie and full-on adult.
Was there any mixed female male ratio?
You're not going to be scored differently, I don't think. I haven't looked at the scoring sheets in a while. I don't believe that we're scoring differently if you don't have a female in the group or if you don't have a male in the group. You just want to choose the ones that showcase the best out of your group. And, like I said, when the females are pregnant, sometimes their coloration looks a lot better. Excuse me. So it's up to you. I do have, I know we're almost out of time.
It's okay. I don't mind if we run late.
Okay. Well, I gotta meet up for drinks later. I don't know where I'm going yet, but
okay.
Until I know where I'm going, we're good.
Can't be late for drinks, so we got to go soon.
I'm not late. What did I want to say? Oh, okay. So the structure of the contest itself, we have 2 price ranges. So when you're registering, you have an option to pay a higher fee and take your shrimp home. They belong to you. You are expecting to be there, or you're providing shipping, prepaid labels for your shrimp to be sent back to you. Right. So the other one is you're actually giving them up for auction. So on Sunday, I haven't decided how we're going to do the auction yet. It gets crazy when it's not a silent auction because you got too many people screaming and yelling. That I don't like that kind of chaos. It's already chaotic at the show.
I'm going to be screaming. How much money should I bring?
Make sure it's cash. That's all I can tell you.
No, that's already in my plans. I want to have a wad of cash so I can get some of these shrimp to get auctioned off.
So there already are some that have registered to donate. Well, they're donating them if they're not there, but the breeders themselves, if you do choose to donate or put your shrimp up for auction, we're paying you 50% of whatever proceeds they bring in. I think it's fair. We did not do that in the beginning. We just kept all the money, but we were also we didn't have money to put the contest. We had exactly what the sponsors were giving us. And so we did it a little bit differently. So in this way, I think it's fair to give the breeder back something, that's their hard work. And really, I think it should be recognized in that way. This particular contest, so I said I was reaching out to my friends within the hobby, people that I've visited, and I did make a post on Facebook that Skyfish is participating. And I'm super excited about this because even though Leon's not able to come here to the US, I think he's got several businesses and recently took over a family business. So he doesn't have the time for traveling to the U.S., but he's shipping in his entries, whatever he chooses to send in. Everything will be auctioned from him. So I'm excited, and this is the announcement of that. In addition, I have a second announcement because I haven't put this out anywhere either. Every judge that is participating for our contest is donating a group of shrimp. So you will have a group of shrimp from Benny out of Singapore, Carbon. Actually, Ven is also volunteering to give us a group. I'm not sure if that means Eric's not gonna, or if he is. Eric, I don't know. You have to figure that one out. And Rob as well. I've asked them all to donate at least one group, and that group will be up for auction as well. So within the show, those are not groups that are competing. Those are groups specific to support the contest itself. And if we can continue to do this again next year, then we don't have to look for sponsors as much if we can pay for all the equipment that we need now. So that's kind of, it's a way to support the contest and the ability to keep it coming in the future. So that's my two big announcements. It's all about shrimp. You can get shrimp. You cannot get them anywhere else.
That's right, people.
Yeah.
And you got to go and be there because why?
I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp? I love shrimp. Who else loves shrimp?
The one you don't like.
Oh, but it's so funny. It's so funny. It's so funny. So just real quick, this is the website where the information is for the contest. It's theaquaticexpo.com. And I
put it in the description.
Awesome. You don't have to be at the show to participate. You can send in your shrimp. I will take very good care of them. All the information you might want to know is here on the landing page. This describes
put a link to that too.
This describes the entry fees, 35 and 25. I do have a cap on 3 groups per category per breeder. And I do that just to keep it fair. I don't have 10 tanks for this category, 10 tanks for that one, 10 for 10 to 10 to 10, because we're not going to fill them that way. We're going to fill them however anybody else has.
It's 80 tanks max.
I have 80 tanks max. I do have a few extra. I mean, I've got 20 tanks that I have. I should have all the equipment for the tanks themselves. But in case of damage or if something breaks or something goes awry, then I'd like to at least have a couple of those for backup. But I also have a couple of those for overflow, I should say, or I could say. So, all right, Eric. Eric's going to bring something too.
Woohoo!
So yeah, you can bid on shrimp that
Lori.
You would not be able to get anywhere else. I love it. Who's Monster Fish Gal?
That is Lori. She's one of the moderators. She's
Thank
like
you, Lori.
Everybody's moderator. She's one of the best.
Yeah, she's got all the information out there already. Awesome. Good night, Crown Tail. I think they may already be gone. That was like 2 minutes ago.
That was
Poetic was leaving.
Poetic
Sorry.
Song. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know who anybody is. These are all your regulars. What other questions might you have? All right, so I'm looking at our so Beta Aquatics asked if the website showcases the past winners. Since this is a new generation, next generation, it does not. In addition to that, the previous contests were affiliated with different companies. And I didn't think it would be fair. It would be great if we had all that information in one localized area. But in the industry, it's not so easy to do that because not everyone gets along. So let's see if there's any other questions. My trivia question. I love it.
Yeah, I haven't seen much that we haven't been covering or talking about.
Sponsors. I did say I wanted to at least bring up the sponsors. So By Pet Shrimp, it's one of our sponsors. Shrimp Envy, another sponsor of ours. I'm happy to have them.
The beans are spilling, folks.
Some of the prizes. So I haven't put out that we have cash prizes. And the reason that I didn't do that is basically because I don't know if we'll have the money. Since I don't have a company that's putting out everything for this like I had before, I actually am going to have to figure out if we will have the funds left over from registrations and things like that. I would like to have the cash prizes, but instead, regardless as to whether or not there is a cash prize, we will have prize gifts. And Shrimp Envy will be providing us with some gifts to give away as prizes. And another sponsor of ours is Glassgarten from Germany. If anybody is used Bacter AE, they know exactly who we're talking about. One of the brothers is a good friend of mine, and so they're sponsoring us as well. And we will have some of their food products as prizes as well. We also, I can probably give you more information about their products. They do a lot of foods. They also have salty shrimp. Oh, you've got the Bacter. Look at that. That is the best crack in the world for shrimp. Who else is? Let's see. I've only had one company that's actually paid money to be a sponsor, and that's CO2 Art.
Oh, that's awesome.
Of all the aquatic related things, it's the company that I worked for. Still represent in some ways. Yeah, he believes in me. I don't know what to say. I love the company. I love the people with that, and yeah, I think it's awesome. So I might be able to use some of that money for prize money. But so we have CO2 Art. Waterbox is a partial sponsor.
That's cool.
Their manufacturing contact person is who we reached out to get our specific dimensions made for the tanks. So all the tanks are not going to be available just anywhere. They were designed specifically for this contest. And if we find sponsors for the pumps, right now we don't have light sponsors and we don't have a pump sponsor. Those are the two pieces of equipment that we don't have at the moment. But I still have 2 months to make it all happen. Don't worry. In the end, it's going to be beautiful.
Well, hopefully we can share this video. All of these watchers that we had will like and share and get it out there. And maybe we can get a few more people interested and helping out.
I don't want to take on too. Thank you again, Laura. CO2's website is on the screen now. You are so good. I don't want to, this is where Francois and I kind of don't agree, and we don't see it eye to eye. We don't have the same opinion. I don't want to have too many sponsors. Like we have like 5 sponsors right now, and I'm good with that. But I don't want 10 sponsors because then it just kind of waters down the sponsorship, and then you don't really see like who the actual sponsors are. Another sponsor that we have, actually, we do have another one, is I'm a Reefer.
Okay.
Figure that out. They do shirts. So they're sponsoring us with shirts. So we will have shirts available for sale. They will have shirts available on their website after the show, post show.
Are they going to be specifically with the NAISC logo and branding?
Yes. So
awesome.
Part of our sponsorship agreement with them was that we allow them to sell the shirts after the show's over. Any proceeds from that they can keep, and then any proceeds from sales during the show are ours, or the contests to keep. And so we have that going on, and then we'll have volunteer shirts, of course. And so if anybody's in the North Carolina area, you want to volunteer, let me know. I'm also going to be in Raleigh. I'm leaving Orlando Friday, and I'm flying out to Raleigh. And they are, yes, that's Kenny's, Eric, 100% Kenny. I'll be in Raleigh for the Raleigh Aquarium Society's event this weekend. They have a small shrimp contest. So I'll be able to kind of have this same conversation with them that we're having tonight, and meeting anyone within the area of Charlotte, North Carolina that might want to volunteer. And then, so yeah, I like to have people that kind of know a little bit about shrimp. So I try to keep it within the community when we do look for volunteers outside.
Cool deal.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited.
Thank you, Carrie. She did all the work.
Oh, thank you, Carrie.
There.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's running a little bit past 8, and I know you have things to do as well. But this
all
is
right, Rob. Sorry, Rob. I'm going to put her to work. I will put her to work. You need to come at least a day early. So we're going to be busting ass because we have 1 day for setup from 7 in the morning on Friday until however long it takes us, which is unfortunate.
Wow,
I do like to have that water. Yeah, I like to have that water settled a little bit before we enter the shrimp. So I will wait as long as, humanly possible and still be able to get it done before the end of the night. But yeah, so I'm looking to definitely have some hands on deck.
Awesome. I know I'm doing everything I can to be out there.
Okay.
That's still all in the works. So you're going to do the judging on Saturday, right? It's 2-day event.
Oh, I don't know yet, honestly.
Or you can do judging Sunday.
No, I never do it on Sunday. I like to get the judging done as soon as possible. Part of the reason for that is when you have vendors doing the job of the judging, they also have their own responsibilities and they're volunteering their time essentially. So I personally like to have the judging done before the show is open to the public. And for the judges that are not working, that gives them an opportunity to speak to people within the community that have questions, and they're not like trying to do the judging while people are trying to ask questions and things.
Right. While the expo is going on.
Yeah. I try to make it where the work is, they're able to focus on the work at the time that work needs to be done. And then they have that free time to, mingle with the hobbyist, because we all want to meet everybody we can. And so if others have the opportunity to be at the show, whether they're participating or not, I like to give them that freedom to talk with people. And I think it helps. I think it's, I think we all should.
Right.
Let's just do it. Come on.
There you go. Just do it.
Well, yes. And Eric makes a good point too. That when the judging is done early enough, then you can get those scores out there. That information is really good to have out on Saturday. I've done it where we've had it out on Saturday, but in the past it was a whole lot of work. I'm trying to make it so it's a lot easier, maybe digital on the judging. So more to come on that for the judges.
Everybody gets their own tablet provided by Therese.
A tablet, or maybe they use their mobile phones to log into a program. But that is exactly where I'm going with it. Yeah, I want to be able to log in so that all that information goes in there automatically, and I don't have to sit there in front of the Excel spreadsheet with other people giving me information and feeding it in manually, because that is so time consuming. But anyway.
Anyways. No, I get it. That's awesome. And so what are the dates again?
So the show dates are June 10th and 11th in Charlotte, North Carolina. We are all, I think, vendors and people that are watching the information come out from the Aquatic Expo. We're still waiting to hear if they're going to be able to make any group rate arrangements with hotels in the area. If you're on a budget, I recommend to start from the convention center where the event is held, and then work it out, because it's quite expensive right there, but there are surrounding hotels. So maybe it's a block away and you have to walk a block. I mean, what is that? That's nothing, but you could save $100. You never know. So anyone that's interested in that, don't get hung up on what's immediately right there, because you'll have time to walk.
Right.
And then of course any after parties, we never know where those are. They just happen in the parking lot sometimes. You never know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Been there, done that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a responsible adult.
That's right. We don't have that's never happened before. We have never been kicked out of the lobby of a hotel ever.
Ooh, no, never. Anyways, no, this has been awesome. I really have enjoyed it. I've enjoyed just getting to know you a little bit more. So that way you're not so stuck up the next time I see you.
Right.
And,
so the next time I have that focus, I told you, if I'm not talking or nothing in my hands, then I am available. I just may not look it.
I'm just giving you a hard time. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't like RBF or anything, but it's close.
I'm sure I have that though. But no, I'm very approachable. So even if I look like I'm mad, approach me. I love to talk. So, I mean, can't you tell we've been on here for an hour and 11 minutes?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a good one. But no, I really appreciate it. I think it's if anybody wants to comment, leave me notes. If you want to learn more, maybe get an update on things later, would you be open to that?
Yeah.
As closer we get to the actual competition.
I've had a really good time. I thank you for inviting me. Awesome. I love to talk shrimp. And I definitely love to answer those questions that have everything to do about the contest itself. For those that may have never entered before or might never have even looked it up. Hold on, Rob had a question. If they want to be volunteers, yeah, they can just, they can do either. The email it's my email for NAISC. You spelled that wrong, Rob. Or Facebook. There is someone who is handling volunteers for the show as a whole. So if anyone's interested in Rob had a question. Oh, yeah.
That's
I'm answering right now. If they're interested in volunteering, reach out to me first, and then I may direct you to this other person who's handling that. And the reason we want to be able to keep track of that is because if someone's willing to give 4 hours of their time, during the show, because I don't like to leave the contest area unattended. I always want someone or someone's to be there to make sure no one's trying to steal the shrimp or putting their hands in the tanks or, sloppy drool from kids or any of that. You'll get entry into the show for free for both days. So we're willing to give you a little bit in exchange for your time.
Well, that's kind of like what I did at Aquashella in Florida the first year that it came back after the COVID stuff.
Right.
I volunteered because I knew I was going to be there. So I volunteered and basically helped. I put all the shrimp in all the tanks. So I was really nervous with that responsibility. I was like, I hope none of these shrimp die. The people will hate me forever. So I was really nervous with that. And then Joe was over there going, make sure you do this and make sure you do that. And it was my first experience with Joe. So I got to know him real well, real fast.
Yes. All I can say is that the experience will be it definitely will be different from that. I've experienced that as well. And I know exactly what you're talking about. And, it happens. The shrimp may not all survive. There may be 1 or 2 deaths, and that does tend to happen. But it's not just that it happens here in America. It happens at every contest. And I have been to contests in China, in Spain, in France, in Germany. It happens everywhere.
Right.
So,
I was really glad though.
Afraid of that.
I was glad because out of all the aquariums and all the shrimp that I acclimated and put in the tanks and everything, I think there was only 1 casualty out of all the tanks. So I was like, woohoo! Oh,
that's a good record. That is a good record.
I'll take that.
So for anybody that's not looking at the chat and still listening, Eric has also offered himself up if you have questions about categories or groups, if you're just not sure where it should go, you can also reach out to him. I know Rob, this is Rob's first time actually being a judge, but Rob is pretty knowledgeable already. So anyone can reach out to him. Cherie could probably answer some questions too. If you already have a relationship with these people, and that's where you feel comfortable asking questions, please do. And then if you don't get the answers or if they don't know, then of course they can pass you on to us, or they can just ask us directly. And as Eric said, he's always willing to share information to help you score higher, give you advice. And coming from a judge, I would definitely take him up on that offer, because he knows what he's looking at each time he's judging. So
yes, and we're looking for the homogeneity.
the homogeneity.
Homogeneity.
Homogeneity. Yeah. Homogeneity. It depends on where you're from, I guess, as to how you pronounce it. It is hamburger, multicolored noodles. Yes.
That's answering a question about what's for dinner.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know how this applies to shrimp, but let's go with it. Homogeneity is actually it. So yeah.
How funny. They're having a different conversation over there about dinner.
I can see that. But that's fine. I can let you guys go. Sheree, you're so funny. I can't wait to see you and Rob again.
It's going to be fun. Again, just hit me up if you want to do an update, or maybe if I get enough people poking and prodding at me, I'll invite you up again.
Yeah.
We can talk some more shrimp, because I'd like,
most definitely.
Definitely. I think just having another contest in a different part of the country that maybe people might be able to get to, whereas they might not be able to get to Dallas, or might not be able to make it to
Florida.
Daytona is the next one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Daytona.
We'll see. I just think that having that there's a lot of shrimpers that I think have some really quality shrimp, that if we could just get them to jump out from their shrimp room, they can, they can do some stuff and maybe actually, at least if not compete, at least get in there and try to have fun competing. And that's the name of the game. It starts there. Next thing you're winning awards.
It is all about having a good time. And I try to provide a platform where everyone enjoys themselves. I think that's important. I don't want to scare anybody away. And so this platform gives us an opportunity to bring in breeders at the level that Vin is at, or at the level that Benny is at. And kind of, they're not any better than, and they've gone through probably a lot of the same ups and downs that we've all gone through. We're all the same. So it's a great opportunity.
Sometimes you got to just start all over. But, one thing I got to say is that I've seen this happen. What's happened to me, I've seen it happen to other shrimpers in the hobby that were big time into it. And then something happens and they just go, I'm done. And they quit for a little while.
Yeah.
Either I'm crazy, stubborn, or just I love shrimp so much that it's like, okay, that's okay. I fall down, I wipe myself up, I get back
and I'm
up
still going to move forward. Yeah.
Again.
It's that love.
I don't know any other way to do it.
Right.
So
it's that love that we have. I may not be able to do as much, but I still, I'm not selling my shrimp. I don't do anything with them. They're there. I have some expensive shrimp, and I love when my colonies increase and everything, but I don't give them away. I don't sell them. They just die, which is sad. I shouldn't do that, but it's a time thing. But I would never give that up.
Right.
I just get too much joy out of taking care of them.
I got to get back to having hundreds of shrimp and bunches of aquariums and making videos in my spare time.
Yeah. You're an empty nester now. You're going to have some more time to do that.
I'm adjusting. But
well,
anyway,
I'm going to sign off. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and asking your questions. and introducing yourselves. I hope to meet some of you if I've not already met you. I know that there was one person that mentioned in here they met me at NAISC. That was several years ago, so that's funny. But yeah, we could definitely do this again, maybe as we get closer to the show, when
Okay.
you've got some questions and, all that.
Awesome. Sounds great. Thank you very much.
Have a
Thanks,
good night.
everybody. We'll see you again next time. Click.